Okay, I think we're live.
All right.
So, Robbie Klucik,
That's right.
Slavic name,
Yeah.
but still pronounced Klucik.
Yes.
Okay, welcome to Surgite.
Yeah.
Very excited that we're able to sit here and talk. Thank you for you were actually the first person that like volunteered for this.
Well, yeah, I was talking to your wife, and she was like, "Oh, my husband would love to talk to you," and I was awesome.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get this started, and I feel somewhat like I'm burdening people by asking them to come on.
Yeah.
And so to have somebody say, "Hey, I heard you doing this. Would you like it?" I'm like, "Yes, definitely."
Yeah.
So that's great. I'm really glad that this came off.
Yeah.
So to start, I don't know much about you. I know that this is your first year teaching at Sparhawk Academy, and you're teaching, if I remember correctly, third?
Yes.
Third grade.
Third, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit scattered here and there, but
Yeah, you do some other,
Yeah.
and so having just started here at Sparhawk, and getting to know everybody and that kind of thing, like what brought you here, or maybe we could go further back. We could. It depends on how you want to go.
Yeah.
Would you like to say what brought you here first, or give us a little bit more background about you? That's all I know about you, by the way.
Yeah. So we could go into teaching background if you'd like.
Let's start with where you're from originally.
Okay. Yeah, that works. So I'm from military family for the most part, from the time I was born till the time I was 5. Through that, early period. And then we moved to Ave Maria, Florida, when I was 5 or 6. And so I say I'm from Florida, and that's where I grew up. That's pretty much what I remember of growing up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So from Florida, Ave Maria is a great town. When we moved there, we were part of one of the first 20 families to move, maybe 30 families to move to Ave Maria.
Wow.
So
and now that was a town, like a special town.
Yeah. So Ave Maria is very unique town. So it's like basically you have billionaire, Tom Monahan, had an idea for a university. This is going to go into a backstory. I got to explain everything.
Right. Well, that's fine. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I've heard about the university. I've heard of people that go there. So it might be good to do like a quick synopsis.
Billionaire, lots of money, wanted to start a Catholic university. Tried to start it in Michigan, didn't work out, moved it to Florida. Built a huge church, the center of town. And basically, because he moved the university to Florida, he bought these cow fields in the middle of the Everglades, kind of drained them of, Florida is brand new, Southwest Florida, it's all swamps. Drained them, started plopping his university there, and built a town center with, buildings for restaurants and apartments, church right at the center of town, and then brought in a building company and built a bunch of houses, of people. Initially, a bunch of people, built homes. Initially, people moved there because of the university, but then slowly started gaining this reputation as kind of a Catholic utopia in a way.
Yeah.
And, the word utopia is kind of a dangerous word.
Of course. Nobody likes utopia.
Yeah. Because it kind of, But that's where I grew up. That's my background. A very, very Catholic town. Kind of nobody there at first, only a handful of families there.
So when you were 5 and you remember these years,
fondly.
There's a few families that, with their kids go to school with you.
So about
homeschool?
half the families were homeschooled, half the families went to the very small K-12, kind of classical private Catholic
Which one were
school.
you?
So I was part of the homeschooling crowd.
Okay.
Homeschooled all my life, K-12. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Homeschooled the whole time. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
God bless your parents.
Yeah. Part of the reason is,
Do you have
is
siblings?
the military. Yeah, I have 6 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the same story for all of them?
Same story. Oldest and youngest had high school.
Yeah.
They went to school for high school at the K-12. But everyone else either fully homeschooled or mostly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such an accomplishment. I mean, I know people do it, but
my mom's a wonderful woman. She's
it's a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
and especially with a wide array of children to educate.
Yeah.
At the levels that they are.
Yeah, and there's strengths to it and weaknesses. I'm not going to pretend like it was perfect, but it was overall, I'd say I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Part of me, looking back on it, wishes I went to a high school, I think, to kind of hone my studies a little bit more, but it ended up working out in the end. So here we are.
Okay. All right. Well, so, I mean, it can go a lot of different directions. So maybe, so your dad was in the military, your mom?
Yes, my dad. West Point grad, then later a JAG officer after going to law school.
Excellent. Okay.
So he went to Ave Maria Law School. That's how we first heard about Ave Maria. He went to Ave Maria Law School, but at that point, it's currently in Naples, but at that point it was in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And they moved the campus to Naples, Florida, Southwest Florida.
Yeah, and he liked it so much he just followed it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so, and you have 6 siblings?
Yes.
I do too.
Oh,
it's a good number, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle. Where are you in the order?
The fifth. So my older brother's in the middle, and he always brags about that. Yeah. Which is funny because most of the time people complain about how they don't get enough attention, but he likes the getting attention by not getting it. I don't know what it is. But I just remember being jealous of him, whatever it was. I don't know why.
Well, because you know, there's something symmetric. Is the birth order symmetric with like girls and boys? Or?
No, so it's boy, 2 girls, 3 boys, girl.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a syncopated thing.
Yeah. 3 boys in a row though. That's a great way to grow up. Great way.
So I had the same.
Yeah.
So my parents had 2 girls and then 3 boys and then 2 girls.
Okay.
So it's like that's the symmetric thing around me. And on top of that, there were like 3 years between my older brother and 2.5 years between me and my younger brother. So I was like spaced out as the 4th child. And then my parents, you know, they're like, all right, let's do some more.
Yeah.
And what I liked about that was I was kind of growing up with the olders, but I was the youngest, and then I was like kind of the oldest to the youngers, and I was like a babysitter. So it provided a good balance, and I can understand the kind of anonymity kind of aspect where you just kind of fly under the radar. You don't cause any major problems, but you're also not like called out a lot.
But you can stir things up a little bit.
Yeah. So great. All right, so that's where you're coming from, and then maybe go from the end of high school. Like what happened there between there and now?
I'd like to think it's kind of an interesting set of events there. So senior year, homeschooled, living in the town. It's got Ave Maria. It's grown quite a bit. Actually boomed since first moving there. A lot of houses, lots of families. Again, it has this reputation like a kind of a Catholic stronghold.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I mean, Catholic conservative stronghold, so it attracts a lot of people.
Yes.
But you also have people moving out. People thinking of it as a utopia and then realizing it's not a utopia, and then they're like, okay. So you have a lot.
They're still human beings.
And
have problems. Basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it can be naive to think of it that way. So having no idea what I want to do, like a lot of people, maybe not most, but a lot of people. Senior year, I was on the football team. It went well, but football season ended, and what am I going to do? So I kind of think maybe I'm getting into the trades. Maybe I'm gonna, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna apply to Ave Maria University. Couldn't be closer to me.
Right.
Newman Guide School. If I was going to go to college, I thought I wanted to go to a Newman Guide School, which is the list of, I don't know if you're familiar, but it's the list of Catholic schools that kind of are authentically really Catholic.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of awkward. But like, not Catholic in name only kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my parents
it's a shame that we have to say that.
Yeah,
but
my parents are big proponents of Newman Guide schools. So
yeah.
I only applied to Ave, and it wasn't exactly the unique thing to do. Most of my family had either gone to Ave at one point or graduated from Ave at that point. So I kind of followed in their footsteps. I thought about applying to some of the other schools, but I was like, I'm right by home. I want to go to a Newman Guide school because I'm still in my formative years. I don't want to jump out into the world just yet. I want to jump out in the world, but I kind of want to still stay close to
this makes a lot of sense.
Values, morals,
I mean, it's great that you had that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not everyone has that.
Take advantage of it. It's kind of silly to throw it away.
Yeah, and of the Newman Guide schools, I obviously knew Ave was great for my siblings, but also it's going to be the most affordable because I could live at home.
Yeah. So your parents happy with the decision?
Yeah, they were very much so.
Yeah.
I think they probably would have liked it if I kind of maybe spread my wings a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not like they told me that, but So I went to Ave. You know, it was great. Ave is a very unique place, very, very awesome. You meet some of your closest. I've met some of my closest friends there, and from what I've gathered, a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you do in college. So I guess it's, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people I didn't want to be friends with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I went to a public university. You know, I went to Purdue. It's not that there wasn't anybody there. Like I did have people that I was friendly with, and if there wasn't a challenge because of space and I probably would have kept in better touch with some of them. But yeah, no, it's definitely not a guarantee that you're gonna just make lifelong friends with your college roommates.
Yeah,
or college friends.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was. I knew what I was getting by going to Ave. I'll put it that way. I didn't. It wasn't like I was going bushwhacking into the unknown. I knew what I was getting. I knew I was going to meet people with morals and values that were 90% similar to mine. You know, trying to actually work on their faith and not just taking college as an opportunity to go party your life for 4 years.
I liked what you said about the formative part. Like you're still kind of getting your foot. Your footing.
Yeah.
And I think that's. Some people kind of do think of it as like pushing their kids out of the nest and like go swim, but they're not ready.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I actually forgot to mention the part that makes this interesting. So I wanted to spread my wings a little bit, and so I had an opportunity my senior year. My brother had just come back from Alaska this previous summer and fished there on a boat for a summer. He kind of he had some connection there. There was a guy he was going to college with who knew a guy, and
like
there was
a real fishing boat?
On a real fishing boat, salmon seiner. Yeah, so he went up there, had an amazing time. It was like an adventure of his lifetime. And he was like trying to get all of his friends to do it, and he tried to get me to do it. And I thought at first I was like, no, that seems too. I don't know. I'm not in that mood. But then by the end of senior year, I was like, I want an adventure, man. I mean, if I'm gonna go to Ave, I want to at least get my hands a little dirty, kind of see the world a little bit. So I eventually tried to sign on a boat. And again, it's not like we had no connections, but the connections there are kind of, halfway across the world. You don't really, I don't know. So I was able to get on a boat, thankfully, with the help of my brother. That was pretty good. It was a good boat. I got on with a guy who went to University of Dallas.
Had you ever done any like sea fishing before?
No. It was awesome.
That's a really interesting decision. I mean, just to do that. I mean, I definitely see the attraction of an adventure, but still, like, I'm nervous just going on a boat, and I've gone on lots of boats.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I went fishing with my dad's friends on where you're.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's totally different. Totally different. But and I wouldn't have done it if my brother hadn't gone. And my brother, I'm super close with. I mean, he's been like one of my best friends my whole life, and awesome. I trust him with my life.
Yeah.
So I knew that if he thought I could do it, I could do it.
Nice.
So that's probably the driving factor of me not being too chicken to do it.
The summer after high school.
Yes.
Before you go to college.
Before I go to college, and that was my my kind of way to dip my toes into the water of real life a little bit.
Sure.
Hard manual labor. In Alaska, there are parts of Alaska where, especially the fishing industry, where people fish in the summer and then they take drugs in the year. So there's a lot of homeless miscreants and just I experienced a side of that that I had never experienced in Ave Maria. So it was good for me, I think. Just the side of life where you can just see people are miserable.
Yeah.
And that was part of the experience of Alaska that was very important for me to witness. And then also just being totally self-reliant. Like I had to wake up and work and not have my mom help me do X, Y, and Z or make my bed or whatever. I was on a boat for up to 2 weeks at a time where we were waking up and fishing and going to bed. And that was my life.
That's like a serious jump.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah. And it
good
was
for you for doing that.
Kind of, I think that was one of the biggest steps in forming me as a man, I think.
For sure.
Yeah. Stepping away from my parents and my mom, my dad, I think thought it was a good idea. My mom was like, no, not my baby, but it was really good. And I had that adventure, and I came back to what I knew. Like I've explained, like I knew what I was getting at Ave. So I had a little bit of both, which was important for me, I think.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So successful fishing venture. Are you still in touch with any of those people?
A little bit. So I went to actually, it's funny. My freshman year, I went to the quarterback of my freshman year on the football team. He was fishing with me on the same boat.
Oh, wow.
I'm not super close with him, but and then another guy from University of Dallas, which is also a Newman Guide School. And anytime you meet one of the guys, someone from a Newman Guide School, you kind of have this, I don't know, this mutual understanding. And I hadn't gone yet officially, but I grew up around that environment my whole life.
Yeah.
So there was this connection that kind of happened without, I don't know, a thorough explanation. So I got really close with him on the boat, and I keep in touch with him.
Now, is that like a phenomenon that kind of like, I don't know how to put it. Do a lot of Newman Guide students go fishing off Alaska, or what made your brother want to do that?
So there is a small pipeline. I wouldn't say a lot, but there is a pipeline.
All right, so it's not unheard of. It's kind of like a thing that some people do.
Yeah. So one guy did it. He was the you kind of like the bushwhacker there, and he started the pipeline. He was the first guy who did. I don't even know his name, honestly. But he's
legendary. Now.
Yeah. He went to St. Gregory the Great Academy, an all boys school in Pennsylvania.
Maybe we could find his name and put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. So all right,
maybe McDonald.
So then people kind of started doing that as like almost like a coming of age adventure.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like a trickle of that's really interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to keep. I'm interested in your entire story. So
one of the coolest things I've ever done for sure. And yeah, there is a pipeline. I'd say a handful of guys from Ave go every year.
Okay.
It might be dying down a little bit, but yeah. And then I know guys from Franciscan go, guys from UD go. Yeah.
Okay. So seems like it's a thing now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So then next.
So at Ave, I was undecided for my first year. And then I guess towards the end of my first year, I decided I wanted to major in politics. Yeah. So at Ave, it's not poli-sci, it's politics. And they kind of have a philosophy of politics approach. I didn't work on too many like modern case studies. I did a little bit, but it was more so, Machiavelli, John Locke, like where do we get the idea of the governing body?
Right.
And I picked it because I was very interested in it, not necessarily because I wanted to make a career out of it. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe I'll go to law school like my dad. I don't know. I was pretty unsure of what I wanted to do. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah. It was a toss up between that and history. I love history, but I like history as more as a hobby, Mm-hmm. I didn't want to make it my day in, day out.
You want to kill the thing you love.
Exactly. And that's the same reason why I didn't play college sports.
Yeah.
I love sports too much to make it
Yeah, my daughter did the same thing. She's in college right now as a freshman, but she decided to go to a Division III school where it's very relaxed and she's very comfortable there, and she's able to do all the other things that she wanted to do. And so, at one point when she was in high school, we were like, what are you thinking? I mean, you could get your college paid for if you try really hard.
Yeah.
But as soon as she went and learned about what, intense like D1 schools do, she's like, no.
Yeah.
Like she wants to like soccer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense that you wouldn't want to do that. All right. So you were tossed up between history and politics, and you chose politics.
Yes.
On your your sophomore year.
Yeah. No, sorry. Second semester freshman year.
Oh, second semester.
Yeah. And thank God I did that, because that's how I met my wife.
Oh.
My now wife. So she also was undecided and then ended up picking politics.
And did you know her before the class? Or
a little bit. So we had mutual friends and we hung out a little bit, but we got to know each other more through that class.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, it's cool to have such a long, early start to meeting your
comparative
your
politics
spouse.
with Dr. Segru. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so we started dating shortly after. Probably towards the end of second semester freshman year, and have been together ever since. Got married right after we graduated. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah. But no, politics was a great major. Again, I kind of was flushing through ideas to, do I want to do law school? Do I want to work in the government? And then I came to the decision, I think just to the help of one of my best friends. He kind of noticed that I had a knack. I liked talking to younger kids and kind of helping them out in situations and stuff. And he said, you should look into teaching, man. And I had thought about it a little bit, but I hadn't thought about it super, super seriously.
Yeah.
But after he said that, I kind of did think about it a lot. And kind of, I could go on and on, but unless you wanted to change the topic here.
No, I don't have any particular agenda. I just want to hear what you have to say. I mean, I would like to hear more about, how you got involved with Sparhawk school. And then, how it's going your first year, like this is kind of a unique time where, some of the people I learned the history and they've been here for many years, but you're the first person I think I've interviewed that's
brand new.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of get your kind of reaction to it and that kind of thing.
So, only person, I guess my brother-in-law and my sister taught for a little bit, but not a long time. It wasn't their career. Yeah. But the next closest person in my life who was a teacher, Ben Houde, who is the dean of lower school here. Mm-hmm. He kind of was one of the founding teachers. But he was a mentor in my life growing up because he had gone to Ave Maria University. So we're about 10 years apart, and he had gone to Ave Maria University and was super involved in the youth of Ave Maria.
Oh, okay.
During his time at Ave.
Right. All right. So he met you while he was going there.
Yeah. Like doing youth programs. There was one in particular. It was very informal, but something that he kind of carried the torch, started early on. It's called C4C. And it stands for Crusaders for Christ. Every Sunday, the group of boys would meet, play soccer, football, frisbee, whatever sport we decided to play that day, and then pray a decade of the Rosary and talk about the gospel for that Sunday.
Okay.
And he kind of started leading that, and got closer with me and my siblings, and then got closer with my family, and kind of always there for like special occasions and kind of always super involved. But it wasn't just us that he was involved. He was involved with the K-12 school. He taught there for a year after he graduated and just would take the boys out on field trips and road trips and I guess field trips isn't the right word. Road trips or like camping trips where we'd go paddle in the 10,000 islands off of Everglades City, and we would camp on an island and cook chicken over the fire. I don't know. He was super, super involved. One time we took a road trip from Southwest Florida all the way up to Minnesota.
Whoa.
He took 3 or 4 of us guys, and
that's
Ben's
like
the kind of guy.
miles?
Yeah, it was, and we like stopped. We did splunking along the way. We stopped at a sister's house. We stopped at my brother-in-law at the time's house. Yeah, I don't know if he was married to my sister yet, but we stopped at his house, all the way in Wisconsin. Wow. Had a great time. Went to a couple of baseball games along the way, but he just was super involved my parents always talk about how you could tell that he really cared about us.
Yeah,
and
I could tell that about him.
And so they trusted him, and he would come over for dinner all the time, and speaking on that note, I was wondering before this podcast if I wanted to get a little deeper, but I think it's important to note why I had my inspiration of teaching after I thought about it deeper after my friend had mentioned it. So Ben came into our life shortly after my oldest brother had passed away.
Oh.
He was 19, died in a car accident.
Oh man.
It hit our family like a truck. But my dad always explains it this way. There were 3 men who came into our life kind of all around the same age as my oldest brother. And they kind of almost carried on that role. I don't know if some of them realized, I'm sure some of them did, but they weren't explicit about it. But they were so involved in our life. And so it was like losing one older brother, but having it be replaced by 3 good men, 3 strong men.
Wow, that's amazing.
And Ben was one of them. And I, through that experience of having Ben as a mentor, I kind of was thinking about it later on in senior year of college. I was thinking, it's so important to have that male role model in your life. It's so important for young men in today. I mean, always. It's been throughout all of time. You gotta have. I mean, maybe you don't have to, but it's really important to have that male role model that you can rely on, but also look up to, and kind of, oh wait, in this situation, how would they react, or what did they do? And then you can kind of pick apart the different, especially if you have more than one male role model, you can pick apart. It's like, okay, what should my path be? And obviously you pray about your path, but you also can take example of the people, the good role models around you. And I kind of realized that that's really important, which is what got me into teaching initially.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely agree about a role model. I just wanted to say, like, especially one that's, it's not your parents. It's somebody that's like, a few steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
And, is doing things like well and right, good. And you can like,
but not unrelatable, they're not.
No, but just, just that are, I don't know, I guess I could put it in a way like, has admirable qualities that are good,
Yeah.
like, cause there can be role models that are like, kind of edgy and doing like,
or even just like not attractive. It's like, okay, he's a great person, but that's just, it's kind of, I don't know.
yeah, like that. And so, that's important. And that's, wow, what an amazing, like, blessing to follow right after such a tragedy. That's awesome. So then you knew Ben, he graduated. And so that all happened before like you got even into the college.
Yes.
And,
yeah. So
so you knew him when you went there, and then, so you were describing about like the indecision of whether you wanted to do teaching, but like you knew Ben.
Yeah.
And he was down that path of teaching. And the other role models, the other two guys that you knew, were they also
not involved in teaching. One of them actually, on this Saturday, I'm going to be at his diaconate where he's becoming a deacon. Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
So yeah, he's entering the
Thank God.
priesthood. Yeah. And then the other one, Trey is his name. He's the only one I haven't stayed in contact with, I'd say.
Yeah.
I know he has a family, and I don't think he's a teacher though. But Ben was the most obvious, like, wow, like you can be a teacher and be so influential on people's, and that's the easiest way to do it. Teacher, coach those are the two easiest, or maybe youth group leader, youth minister. Those are the ways you can get to be a good role model very like easily. I think.
Because you're right there, and you're guiding people as an educator.
And sorry, I guess I forgot to say this. By the time Ben was teaching here, I hadn't yet graduated high school. So, but I stayed in touch with Ben. So I didn't really get to experience teacher Ben too much.
Yeah.
But I stayed in touch with him enough where he kind of was able to share his experiences with it.
So did you stick with politics?
I graduated in politics.
Okay.
But right out, by the time I graduated, I knew I wanted to be. I had applied to a school, a classical school in Florida. So the first year outside of college. So first thing we did, Mary and I, we got married.
Yeah.
And then we both, I guess, our senior year, we were applying to Mason Classical Academy. A lot of Ave grads end up going there. It's a good school. It's a really good school. It's a charter academy. It's pretty big. But it's technically public. It's a lottery to get in, but they have a really good staff there. I'd say the majority of the staff is super conservative Christian.
Is it far from Ave Maria?
About 45 to an hour. Okay. And we already knew people that were teaching there, so it was an easy in, and we had connections, and I had a great first year, I think. But we had thought about moving a little bit closer to Mary's family. My wife's family is from, they live up here in Massachusetts in Uxbridge. Okay. And that was a driving factor, but also I had heard all these great things. I mean, I kept in contact with Ben, and Ben would, we'd have, a monthly call or so, and he'd be telling me all these awesome things about Sparhawk. I had already visited once or twice, so I'd been able to experience it. There was one day when I was in college where I visited Ben and I played football at recess or maybe it was PE with some of the boys. So I knew what Sparhawk was, and the one thing I'd say about Mason Classical Academy is that they're very strict, and they don't really have any land. So recess and PE is in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so hearing Ben's experience where it's the exact opposite, we have more than enough land and you have like 10 different fields to play whatever sport you want. And I don't know, and just the channeling the boys' inner boyness. So
it's a huge aspect of this school.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, that kind of expansiveness that, allows their souls to grow, and like go on an adventure and do very, it's a very unique opportunity. So it's one of the greatest things. One of the great things. There's so many great things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
well, and I grew up that way. I grew up in Ave Maria. It was very small and there was a lot of forest and swamp that my buddies and I, because I was homeschooled, we'd get done with school at noon and we'd go build forts in the woods.
It's so great.
Yeah. All the way
outdoor
till 6.
childhood.
Yeah, and it was, or if we didn't want to build forts that day, we'd knock on every single neighborhood kid in the door, every neighborhood kid's door, and we'd go play tackle football in the field next to my friend's house.
Yeah,
and that's just how we grew up. And I thought that was normal, but then when you talk to people, especially nowadays, past 20 years, it's not.
Yeah, it used to be normal.
Yeah, yeah,
it's definitely not normal.
Yeah, and that's how I grew up, and
I
I consider myself extraordinarily lucky. I mean, that's what this school is all about, though. That playing tackle football, getting a bruise or a cut, and rub some dirt on it. And I mean, and there is a certain aspect where I'm not. You have to take care of the kids, the students, obviously, but you are also training them to be men, and part of being a man is being able to toughen it up, toughen up a little
absolutely.
bit.
I mean, children, can be easily overprotected, and it's an understandable inclination for parents to do that. But for some reason, I don't know. I guess I can't explain why. I haven't thought about why, but it obviously happens a lot more than it used to. I mean, when I was growing up, and even my older cousins and things, parents were not that involved in their kids' lives. They had things to do, and they, spent a lot of time with other grown-ups, and the children were just kind of like, getting into trouble or this or that. And, but, more or less they were on their own a lot more. And so like that has shifted a lot, and it's great to know that there's still a place where outdoor childhood exists, and this place exists for that same reason, or at least one of the reasons it exists. But anyway, so you get to Sparhawk. Maybe this is a good time for you to explain, what that was like getting here, and what you're teaching, and what it's like to get. I mean, was this your first teaching job? No. You said you did the others.
Yeah,
how many years did you do that?
1 year, 5th grade, down in Florida.
And then you came here after that year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is almost your first job. That was probably an important step.
Oh yeah. I think I felt a lot more confident after having that year of teaching under my belt. I think this year has gone a lot smoother because of it, for sure. Just experience. I mean, and the repetition of it. But so I kind of had planned around Christmas time. My wife and I were like, okay, let's move to Florida. Let's move to Massachusetts. And we both said, okay, we're doing this. So
like in that first year of teaching together, you were both at the school?
Yes, we were both at the school.
And you're just like, we should, there's a chance for us to do something. Let's go.
Yeah. Part of it was, my wife was pregnant.
Oh.
And
if you're going to move, you better move now.
Yeah. But also she wanted to, have the baby near her, or at least the early years of the baby being with her parents. Yes. And I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, my parents she was the fifth, my daughter, Therese, she's the 5th grandchild, of 6 in my parents, of my parents. And so, grandchildren are still their life, but it's a little bit old news, a little taste of old news.
My parents have 24.
Yeah.
They're, I think 24, maybe it's 25 now. And my sister just had a baby, Felicity. But, Yeah,
And
definitely after the first couple, it starts becoming, I wouldn't say anything like old hat, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And also, there's just such a special connection with a mother and a daughter sharing.
I did the same thing.
The baby, like I couldn't deny that, and I like I said, I wanted to come up here because I Sparhawk, I had heard great things, and I really wanted to try to apply. I didn't know for a fact if I was going to be accepted and I was going to get hired. So I thought, okay, Sparhawk's my that's what I'm aiming for, but. A St. Benedict's or Chesterton Academy, I applied there too, and I thought as long as I can get in, a classical Catholic school, I could easily find a home here because I'd already known some people from up here, from college. A couple buddies of mine live up here or grew up here, and just had a couple connections. So I knew I could make a life up here, regardless. But Sparhawk was a big kicker for sure. And so I started the application process, I think around January, February. Had a couple phone calls with Mike Shell. They went pretty well. But he asked me at the end of one of the phone calls if I could make a trip up. And I thought, you know what? Yeah. So I took a PTO day and was able to make a trip up and witness the school in full action, a full school day. And that was awesome. I got to teach a history class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A couple days prepping for that. That was really cool.
What grade?
Current 7th, but they were in 6th at the time.
Okay.
We were in War of 1812. We were talking about that a little bit. It was fun. I had a handout where they got to pretend to be part of Congress, and they were voting on whether to go to war or not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bring it to life.
Yeah. It was fun. And then it was also a hall day, so I got to experience them having all this fun doing capture the flag and whatnot, and it was a lot of fun. I got to see the true spirit of the school. And once you see the true spirit of Sparhawk, I think it's hard to not be like, wow, this is unique. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be here. Whatever I can to do, to be here, I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Isn't it strange?
Yeah.
It does have that effect on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
whether you're part-time or whether you're just
something-
like yourself, whether you just work here a couple days a week, in the office. I mean, I feel like I just am gravitated towards you.
Yeah, this is such a special place.
Yeah.
It's and that's why I'm trying to do this podcast to just kind of broadcast it and let people know, hey, this is something, and I think God's behind it. This is 100%. Just a beautiful place. Okay, so that was in the winter, right? Did you say winter?
Yep, winter.
Right, and then you came for the day, and then how did that shake out?
It was cold. I'm not used to that, so I'm like I said, I
you had a little windbreaker.
Yeah, I had. I think all I had was a suit jacket.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, and I because I didn't figure I'd be outside for very long, but I didn't really know where to go, so I was kind of wandering a little bit, and I was freezing.
Yeah,
I mean, going from 92 degrees with horrible humidity, and then you come into whatever it was, 28, and it was just but it wasn't too bad. I ended up coming inside, and I had a conversation with Raymond Legrand, Tom Keefe, and Mike Shell, all separate conversations. And I got to kind of meet the kind of the main guys. And I already knew Ben.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of
They
conversations.
were all
with
grilling
them.
you.
Yeah. And I think I might have talked to JP Lechner. I mean, I had a lot of conversations, but the formal official ones I had were Raymond, Mike Shell, and Tom Keefe. And I had great conversations with them. I shared about why I'm into teaching, the story that I shared about my brother. And we had great conversations, and it went really well. And so I got to see that. Oh wow! So the school is awesome. The staff all seem like great men who really have a firm purpose to, push through these boys and inform them into men and set them out into the world.
Yeah. And
that's exactly what I wanted to do, and it lined up with exactly what I thought my purpose was as well. So kind of just meshed perfectly there. And after the the interview, it took a little bit long, in my opinion, to at least that's what I thought at first. I was kind of, I'm sure everyone thinks that, hearing back from after you have a job interview. So
Definitely.
I was nervous, and
You're the most interested person in the whole world in that answer.
Yeah,
you just
I mean, my wife and I, we prayed a novena. We were really, really hoping to land at Sparhawk, and got the call, and it was awesome. We were ecstatic. And it ended up working out, and I was in communication the rest of the year. I kind of had to have an awkward conversation with my boss at Mason, but he, Mason was very good to me. They were very good to me, and they are kind of a revolving door school in a way. Mm-hmm. A lot of Ave grads come through, and then they'll teach there for 1 or 2 years. So he was.
Yeah, it's got to be a reality that they're used to. Right?
Yeah,
it's like. There's a benefit to that, and then there is just a consequence.
Yeah. And he John DeMassey is the principal there. DeMassey's living up in New Hampshire. I don't know. They're great family, and he's a great man. And he was like, yeah, if you ever need a spot back, we'll welcome you with open arms. But so then I kind of was in tunnel vision Sparhawk, and so we were planning on moving here over the summer. Ended up working out. I was able to catch a couple summer camps and help out Tom Keefe with those. Mm-hmm. Get a further window into the school and what the school kind of whole ethos is. And
that's when we met, right? For the first time?
That is.
John was going to one of those camps.
Yeah, the wilderness one with Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is when we met. Because you would come into the chapel every day. Yeah.
And so were you? When did you move with your wife up here?
July in the 20s.
Yeah, okay.
I can't pinpoint exactly, but.
And where do you live?
Uxbridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right near her parents, or?
Yeah. So actually, we're kind of living with it. They have a big house. My father-in-law Craig. He's like a master builder, so he has a kind of an expansion of that house.
He had room.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Your story is very similar to mine in the sense that. When we got married, my wife moved from her town we moved together to South Boston. Mm. I was living in Boston at the time, but we got a new apartment, West Broadway in Southie, and it was like awesome. I was so excited about the apartment. And then, we got pregnant, and she's like, I want to move home. And so we just had to call the landlord, and we just changed all our plans, moved down, and her parents had a whole apartment above their main house. Yeah. So it was like an in-law type
awesome.
of thing. And it happened to have been vacated fairly recently by her aunt.
Oh yeah. So you can't say no.
It was great. And they were really great people. Yeah. So I enjoy telling people about living with my in-laws. And it was it was a blessing. It was wonderful. Good people. So hopefully that's the same.
Yeah, no, it's not quite. We don't have a full apartment, but we have enough. We have enough space in the basement. The basement's finished, and it's nice.
And you get on your feet and figure things out.
Yeah. And like you said, great. My in-laws are great. They're great people.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's awesome when that happens.
They pretty much single-handedly put on our wedding. They were catering it. They built a barn for it, man. I'm telling you, my
built a barn.
Yeah, my father-in-law is master builders for the reception.
Was your wedding in Uxbridge? Or?
Yeah, it was. So St. Mary's, beautiful church, awesome church. And then the reception was at the barn that was finished probably the week of the wedding. Yeah, maybe even the day. Honestly, I mean, it was. Cutting it close.
Wow.
And they catered everything. My mother-in-law, Amy, I'm still getting out of the habit of Mr. and Mrs.
You're within wait, when did you get married? What year did you get married?
Year and some change.
Yeah.
So I got to break it. at this point.
You do.
Yeah.
That year grace period is up now. You gotta get on that.
So Amy comes from a family of caterers. So she was able to whip up something with her sisters, and I mean it's like out of The Hobbit or something, or the Lord of the Rings, Bilbo's great birthday party where everyone, I don't know, that's what it felt like to me. It was a wonderful wedding.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we're living with them, and the goal is to have our own place one day, obviously, but saving money, and I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to do that. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we lived with my in-laws for 7 years, I think.
Oh wow.
It was, yeah. And looking back on it, I'm like, what were you thinking? But like I said, it was a whole apartment.
Yeah.
And we kind of had a lot of independence. It was great to just be close to the extended family like that.
Yeah. And if you have, I mean, if they're great people.
Yeah. There was no need to rush out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it does sound like a long time, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's great. I'm glad for you. So when was your baby born?
April 1st. Yeah.
What a great birthday.
Yeah, I know.
And congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
April 1st.
My parents didn't really believe us at first. until they saw the pictures. But, yeah.
That's a great, it's like somebody's got to be born.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's funny. My brother's March 31st and my grandma's April 2nd. So she's.
Oh, nice.
So they barely avoided it. They barely. My baby.
Oh, she's going to have so many.
Yeah, I know.
Great opportunities to prank.
Oh, yeah.
She'll never forget.
Yeah. Ave Maria. She's beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me about like your day here, teaching and
So
your class.
I guess we didn't get into that. So third grade primarily. So my pretty much every morning opens up with third grade. I'm third grade homeroom. I have, first thing I get here, wind down, maybe prep a little bit. And by 8:05, we ring the bell. Boys start like running into the classrooms, try to get them all settled down, but it's pretty hard because they're, off playing tackle football before school or, playing infection tag or doing whatever. So you got to settle them down. That's the first thing. They're unpacking. You got to, homeroom is always a challenge to kind of settle the boys down from, their excitement of the day. But we get them all settled down. And then first class is grammar, like language arts.
Okay.
Grammar, handwriting, spelling.
So you get them to kind of like do a page or something?
Yeah, the first thing I like to do is a handwriting page to just, put on some classical music, some calm music. The boys call it Minecraft music. Yeah. It kind of does sound like it, I guess, but, and they settling them down with the handwriting.
That's their touch point right there.
Yeah. And it's a good way to calm down. And then we lead into spelling typically or the grammar book, Well-Ordered Language, awesome book.
Yeah.
I taught it actually at the school I was at last year. And at first I hated it. I was like, oh, this is so meticulous. And then I learned to really love the language and love actually how ordered it is. I mean, the name is Well-Ordered Language, and it really is. And just being able to section things off so that the students can understand, oh, wait, this is a noun, this is an adverb. They have certain words have certain requirements. There's rules to this.
Yeah, functions and relationships to other words.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love teaching it, and the boys are kind of like, whoa, like that's how that works. Okay. And then it makes their writing better, it makes their speech better, and it's great. It's great. And then after language arts, it's literature. First couple of weeks we were dealing with tall tales, which is great. I love tall tales.
Like and Paul Bunyan?
Yeah, Paul Bunyan. I'm blanking on
John Henry?
Yeah, John Henry, Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on some of these guys. It's bad. But no, it was a fun unit to go through.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did John go here for third grade?
No. Fourth was his first year.
Was his first. Okay. But it was really fun going through, and they loved it, how exaggerated they can be. And we kind of got a sense of hyperbole, just blowing things up way up. And that's what I'm trying to teach in the literature class. Thanks to Ben, he's kind of given me his notes from teaching third grade, but teaching them certain tools you can use as a writer, and as someone who's reading something, you can kind of dissect it a little bit better.
Thinking about the story, not just following the story, but like
exactly.
learning it.
Yeah. And then we kind of were working on recently we've been working on writing and rhetoric, with just teaching the boys some simple writing skills, simplifying a story, like making it smaller or amplifying it. And that's something we've been working on recently, which is, you think, oh, just say it in a couple sentences, but they kind of need that guiding hand to make sure they understand, not everything has to be overly explained. You can just summarize it. And there's certain times where you need to summarize things. And there's certain times where it's good to kind of explain in full detail and kind of, milk every detail out. But yeah, so that's what we were working on recently, but we just cracked open today, Charlotte's Web. So I'm looking forward to reading good literature.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. We're going to be doing Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, one of my all-time favorite books growing up.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a magical, beautiful story for sure.
Yeah.
The whole series, C.S. Lewis.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Not just his fantasy. I mean, one of my favorite authors, probably if not my favorite.
Yeah. He's I don't know. I guess I don't have a favorite author, but he's been incredibly influential. I mean, reading Mere Christianity was one of the really important things that kind of brought me back to my faith. Like,
same, 100%.
You read that book and you're just like, this guy's pretty smart.
Yeah,
he's no dummy.
Yeah,
and then you start learning about like the things that he's done, and his credentials, work, professor at Oxford, and and the way that he was able to use language in such a
poetic
and kind of deceivingly simplistic way. Yeah, but like it was so well crafted. What I love
about him. You can actually digest it. Some of these, I mean, I'm not a perfect scholar, so when I open G.K. Chesterton, I'm a little bit confused at times. But with Lewis, he just boils it down.
Clarity
for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm definitely a big fan of the Narnia series and teaching the kids those stories. It's just a wonderful, kind of fantasy tale. Yeah. But
my dad used to read them to us. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we watched the movies too. We were obsessed.
Yeah. The more recent live action
ones. We did watch the older ones. I think it's BBC.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. We watched a little bit of those, but I think we were too young to appreciate anything from that.
Yeah.
Older movies did not sit well with me.
Yeah. You need to have a certain level of palate for the BBC productions.
Yeah. Nowadays, I'm sure I'd enjoy them, but
I'm sure. Yeah. Because you're more sophisticated palate.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it's kind of like, what is this?
Yeah.
This doesn't look like
an actual lion. What? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're liking it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying. I really enjoy the spirit of the school and just being a part of. I don't know. You walk outside and I have a football in my hand and I just play catch with whoever I see, and it's great. For the breaks here are great to have that opportunity for the boys to run around, and then it's great for me because I get to meet the boys.
Yeah.
So at other schools, I feel like teachers don't get to meet any of the students at the school outside of their homeroom, or unless they're a coach maybe or something, or if they have a club.
Yeah.
But I get to meet every single student at this school because of the ample break time, the ample, just mingling time where I'm able to do that, and it's awesome. I love being able to do that, and the size of the school is great, and the staff, all such great men, and trying to be such great men, in their prayer life and their work, and it's so. And I grew up with that at Ave to a certain extent, where most of the people around me are great people. But it's
funny you say Ave. You mean the town?
Yeah, the town. Yeah, but also the university.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been blessed to have that, where I my whole life been around people who are all trying to reach the same goal. But at Sparhawk, it's just so magnified, and I like to kind of think of about it in a way too. Florida, it's a conservative state. You got a lot of good things going for it, especially the town of Ave Maria. But then it's kind of a bubble in a way, which has its weaknesses and its strengths. But then you come up here to Massachusetts and you're almost like on a battleground.
Yes.
It's so crazy as far as politics goes in some regard.
It's it's kind of I grew up here, I'm from here, and my parents were conservative Catholics, and I always felt like an outsider. I always felt like, I gotta be careful what I say around people. And for a strange reason, I mean, it's just, you kind of like get formed in that way. And, I never felt like I needed to leave or fold, or
you're battle hardened in a way.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, that's like, I can take it, and I don't have to win every argument, because, I don't want to get ganged up on. Something I probably should work on more is, being more vocal, that kind of thing. But, it's never been any cause for like me to flee. Yeah. And I feel like, Massachusetts is a really great place, a lot of great history. There's a lot of good people here. Yeah. And, in recent years, people have been talking about moving, and taxes are ridiculous and the policies are ridiculous. But I don't think that's a good solution. I don't think leaving is the answer.
Yeah, fleeing.
Yeah. And I think maybe for some people it might be the thing that's right. Yeah. But I think people just need courage and reinforcement. Yeah. And
like Sparhawk, I mean, it's a stronghold where reinforcements are getting made every day.
100%. And that's exactly what my purpose is with this whole podcast, is to show it, and to talk to everybody that's involved, and spread the word, and talk to other people, and, maybe just, I don't know, have it, give it an opportunity to kind of grow and spread, because this what's happening here is so great and important. And, if it could be continued or magnified in any way, like, I want to help do that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And, so that's, that's good for you coming to Massachusetts and fighting the fight with us.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It feels good to get some action every once in a while. No.
How's your parish in Uxbridge?
In Uxbridge, it's actually it's got a lot of young families. And it's attached to a school, a K-12 school.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know too much about the school. It seems to be a good school, but a lot of young families. We go to mass at the 11. Yeah. And I mean, it's filled with babies. The 9 has even more. I mean, but you see all these young, you can kind of look across the aisle, or my baby is crying a lot, and at least I'm around people who understand this. No, but it's vibrant. I say it's really good.
That's always a key sign is you hear cries.
Yeah. And Father Nick is great. He's a great pastor.
Good.
He's very, very jovial priest, but also, gets right down to it. He knows what's up. Yeah. But I love the parish. That's good great. Community.
I'm glad.
I mean, it's got to be the 3rd time in a row where we've been invited to the basketball group or the young moms group, and at some point we got to just go. Yeah. You can only say you're busy for so long. I really want to go. But just the fact that they're so welcoming in that, and where they keep on,
good for them.
Be part of the community, and they're right. We should be.
Yeah. I think, like I said, that seeing young families is a good sign. Seeing teenagers is a really good sign. Yeah, that's even harder to see.
Not at that point. I'd say quite. There's a couple, but it's not like back home at Ave Maria. I mean,
it's harder to do. It's so much harder to do. I mean, obviously, your baby's not gonna say, "I don't want to go to mass."
Yeah, exactly.
But
there is a certain air you get when it's like, oh wow, just in my peripheral vision, I can see 4 young parents with babies. This is awesome. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's great. Have you gone to St. Thomas here?
I have. My in-laws used to go there regularly. In past year or so, they haven't as much. But I've gone quite a few times.
They live in Uxbridge.
They live in Uxbridge, so it's quite a hike. That's why they kind of stopped. But it's a great parish. Father Sneesh is awesome. Also, but you have the high school aspect about it, which is cool. But it also is, you got the young families.
What high school aspect do you mean?
I mean, just like the high schoolers going to mass. At St. Thomas, you get that more so than probably at St. Mary's. But I've gone a handful of times, probably 10, 15 times. I made trips up here in college and stuff. But
I went one time there, and it was great. But I keep hearing things, and every time. So I live far enough away that if I'm anywhere near Millis, it's probably because of Sparhawk, and I come straight here. And because there's mass at every school day. If I'm here during the day, going to mass there.
Yeah.
And so, but I remember a couple of different parents told me about some of the events that they have there. It's like couples night or something for parents. And I think they had babysitting and things like that. And I always wanted to do it, but it's like, yeah, but my son comes here and my other kids are at home. And it's like, it's very difficult for me in my particular situation to make it work. But, you know, I just, again, like Sparhawk and a parish like St. Thomas, you just kind of want to magnify it, right? And give it like props and let people know there's something great happening here. Because there are young people and families all over the place that are looking for that, looking for, you know, where should
community,
where should we bring our family to raise them?
Yeah. My in-laws are part of Holy Cross Family Ministries. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have. Tim Casey told me about
it. So they work with Tim.
Okay.
And they host a bunch of family events. I've gone to a couple of those and a couple nights as well. So
I didn't know, like, so he told me about it in the context of taking a trip to Africa to help.
Okay, yeah. Like, so they also do that. They're a worldwide organization.
I don't know anything about it other than that.
So they focus on family structure. So the priest, Father Patrick Payton, who's known as the Rosary Priest, he used to have rosary rallies. That was a common thing. I don't know about the history.
The Rosary Priest?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the history. I think he's a venerable as well. So he founded this organization, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the department, I think where we're getting confused here, the department that my in-laws are in is specifically the family ministry.
Okay.
So they do the couples nights, they do marriage.
Okay, so
primarily
different
marriage
arms.
ministry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, different arms.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And they don't do quite as much as the mission trips, but they are involved to some extent. I know Craig, my father-in-law, he does a bunch of mission outreach across the United States. Rosary rallies is what he does, is what they call it. I've never experienced one, but maybe I have. But you know, you get pretty cool showings. I know one time he's coming back. He said Cole Kmet led a decade. He's a tight end for the Chicago Bears. Wow. So they were in Chicago, or maybe they were in Notre Dame. But yeah, it's kind of neat. An NFL player, I think at one point was on my fantasy football team. But that's kind of cool that he he's saying a rosary.
Definitely cool.
With my father-in-law. I was like, oh wow, that's awesome.
Okay, yeah, I got to learn more about them then. Yeah. Do they do stuff locally here?
Or
is it always like in some?
It's not locally. I forget the town off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I know they're attached. Technically, they're attached to a college, a university, a Catholic university. I can't think of the name though. For some reason, it's not Holy Cross. In Worcester, it's not that, despite their name.
Yeah. I
can't think of the name off the top of my head. But
we can look it up. And, follow up for those people that want to see in the comments later.
Yeah.
Wow. I think this is probably a good place to stop for now.
Okay.
Yeah, Robbie, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It was a good talk.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It was a blast. I mean, I love chats. Just chats like this, talking about life, talking about, the truth and figuring out how to spread that. It's great.
Do you want to end with a Hail Mary?
Yeah, great.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Excellent.
Sweet. Thank you.
That's all there is.